Oh boy. Oh boy. Alright, we're back. We're back. I think that I am audible. There we go. Yep, I am moving, and we are doing. So, not much, different, not much changed since last time. Oh, I seem to have frozen up. 1 second. Is that my stream getting stuck? It kind of seems so. Yeah, I think my stream got stuck there for a second. Alright. How's it going? I am doing fairly well. I'm doing okay overall. So last time we discovered that the Guardian of the Lake, the Guardian of the Loch, Bas Bata, is suffering from a tremendous toothache that is going to take 5 of our finest toothache curing potions to fix. However, once we do that, we should gain access to a whole new area in the depths. That is for the future, however. It's going to take us a while to get those 5 potions rolling. I do have one ready, I just haven't had the free time to administer it as of yet. But we'll be able to do that on the next free time we get. We have finished the Spring Flower Festival, and we are now rolling into the first week of summer. We've got a pretty decent set of upgrades going. We've got a hive, we've got a couple garden plots, we've got some sun sugar, a year's supply, so basically I think that's like 4 uses per season, to make some potions extra sweet, which will be more funds. We have a moon dais upgrade so that we can make and sell wands in the future. We also have the, because the golem finished working on that, he has now moved on to a new project. In the downtime between streams, I went ahead and looked at the options. I've decided to have him make something again. It is very valuable to have him construct things that therefore we don't have to pay for ourselves, especially higher value things. Now, this does mean that we aren't getting access to those things until the end of the current season, but I think that it's potentially worth it because there's so much stuff to consider getting hold of that it's gonna take us a while anyway. Right now, I have him making a treatment room. A treatment room is going to be an expansion on the cottage, a separate room that various invalids, various guests, people who need a little bit of help can stay in, just so we aren't having to bundle them on our couch or worse, in our own bed while we go out and get ingredients and make them potions. So, it is mechanically going to be a +3 on their timer. Let me scoot that out a little bit. The timer was being overlapped by my scroll bar. It's going to be a +3 on the timer if they have a malady that is limited in time. Otherwise, the maximum of 13 still stands. You can't extend that. But it is going to be very useful, I think, as we are starting to move through intermediate tiers of ailments. I'm pretty sure we're going to be in the next tier by the time this season is out. And at that point, having a timer of like 4 is going to be a little rough. Even with our little scout, Virgil, extending that himself. But further extension, always good. Alright, we've got our wand, we've got our broom, we have a brand new witch's hat, which is all important. Thank you for the reminder that that was an option. And we're gonna go ahead and see what comes with this summer. So we are still in the intermediate ailments. Let's draw a card and see what the heck is about to happen. What walks in our door? An ace. Okay, so this is a relatively common ailment apparently. We have somebody with Adventurer's Rash. a common ailment for farmhands and apprentices. After coming into contact with a carrier, the afflicted gets an itching in their feet and a, hopefully benign, twinkle in their eye. So, if we do not cure this in time, they are going to set off on an epic quest. Whether it's good for them or not. This is probably something that happened to Nigel. We just came to know him too late, so we weren't able to cure it. Alright, so Adventurer's Rash. Not something that is afflicting a current adventurer, but something that could afflict an adventurer to be. You know what? I'm going to bring back an NPC from previous stuff. I'm going to say this is Marco. Marco, the son of the Reeve of High Rannoc, Garrett, who has in the past gotten vampire drunk, and we managed to cure that. We managed to make him stop leaving his window open. And so that is no longer an issue. However, in hindsight, that was a little taste of danger. And he's 19. What's his life going to be? Just filling the shoes of his father once he retires? He's nowhere near that, and 19 is a restless age. Just old enough that you are, sure of yourself? Perhaps maybe a little bit arrogant. Just young enough you don't know better. Unfortunately, a little dose of reality isn't gonna cut it this time. What we need to treat is 1 star of Rash and 1 star of Senses. And it also has a timer of 4, but Virgil lets us pop that up to 6. So, we need a Rash 1 and a Senses 1. Now, Cynic Ivy might actually be something we can use. Let me just go ahead and double check that. Cynic Ivy was, I think, on the Moonbreaker Mountain. Yes. Is it Senses? It is Senses. And frankly, it's 3 stars, so it's like more than we need, but it is a funny thing to consider flavor-wise for, we used it in his dose of reality last time. This might just be a different flavor dose of reality. So I will consider that. Let's see, is there anything for Rash in the mountains that would be easy to get hold of at the same time? Because Cynic Ivy is Mountain 9. There might be an easier thing to do. One thing to consider is that we do have the wand, so we can now get magic ingredients. Moon Lotus has Rash, which is genuinely just a little bit easier to get, a lot easier if you go to the Isles, actually, which we have access to. So Moon Lotus would actually be a better option than Cynic Ivy. So we can consider that briefly. Is there anything else in the Isles, specifically in that case, that would be good for, that would be Rash, not Senses. Sorry, Cynic Ivy was Senses. This is Rash. Oh, the Isles is technically a different location than the mountain, so I'd be traveling between them no matter what. Okay. So Rash Isles 2 is pretty good. In that case, is there a different thing for Senses in the Isles 9 has Ambergris, which can be used for Senses. Oh, that's potentially good. It's almost too bad we didn't get our first ailment being Magic and Curse, because that would be Star Shard, and that would be so easy to get. Real quick, is Star Shard useful? I don't think Star Shard is useful for the Toothache. It's Magic and Curse, which that is not. So never mind that. Oh, it's a shame. It still might be a good idea to pick some up for future. Let's see. You can probably hear my dog. I've got my window open because it's a lovely day, and he's outside making whatever noise he pleases. Oh, I do not have it on loop. 1 second. Let's get the music going again. Alright. We are not going for foot fungus. Even if young Marco deserves it, to some extent. Okay, I'm not seeing the best options here, to be honest. No matter what we're going to be traveling if we go to the Isles. Isles for Moonlotus for Rash is pretty dang good. I don't know that we're going to get the bonus for treating exactly and only what is needed, though. Because I'm not sure there's anything that treats just rash and just senses. So unfortunately, I think it's time to scroll stuff. So Scramble Bramble is pretty good in the forest. Mood and senses. Adds a point of poison, but that's what the honey and the sweetener and stuff is for. Foot fungus again? I don't think so. Wound and burn, wart and rash, mood, curse and magic. Oh! Coffee Cap is senses alone and adds a point of sweet. We can get to the bog because we have the coracle. Okay. Now, if we keep that for senses, I need to see real quick if there's something that cures rash and rash alone. Pixie Fur does it. Pixie Fur is easier to find on the mountain. Oh, guys, we could try to go for it. It's a risk, though, because that's Mountain 6, and we do not have a lot of time. Okay, real quick, is there anything... Oh, come on, stop scrolling up when I push down. Oh, no. Okay. So, we are currently in a spot where if we want to go for the highest reputation thing, like the most precise potion, we could risk running out of time. We could otherwise just go for the best thing we can as fast as possible. Which would probably be Coffee Cap, Bog 2, and where's the Isles 2 for Rash, Moon Lotus. Oh no. Alright. Efficiency or risk for perfection? Because that is a lot to potentially put into possibilities of failure. Okay, I think the way to go, right now, is going to be going to the bog first for Coffee Cap. See how long that takes us, because those are exploration events that could throw us. And then decide the risk between Mountain 6 for Pixie Fur or Isles 2 for Moon Lotus. Oh, alright. Rash. Pixie Fur, Mountain 6, or Moon Lotus, Isles 2. No matter what, senses is definitely going to be, Coffee Cap, Bog 2. Okay. Alright, so first things first, we are going to the bog. Wow, have we actually been here since we got the coracle? Hello. I don't think I remember getting to the bog before. I think that we just got access to it, but then nothing was needed there. Guys, we gotta go to the bog. Alright, so, travel to the bog. We don't get any particular bonuses aside from, of course, our forage going up by 2 points instead of 1, but that shouldn't be necessary because all we need to hit is 2. So, we shall see. We'll either get it right away or we'll get it on the next round. So, let's go ahead and see what events await us in the bog. Let's go. That is a jack, so we are definitely finding our Coffee Cap. But in the meantime, oh wow. Okay, I'm just gonna read this out. You come across the skeletal remains of a dragon. Moss and vines hang from its bones, and a pair of buzzards have made a nest in its eye socket. You feel the history of the bones as they invite you to stay and listen. If you stay, what story from their life do they tell you? Every time you get this result, write another story of the dragon's life. A couple of sentences will do, so long as someone remembers them. Happily, this does not reduce our timer beyond just the one of getting the event. So, what do the bones tell us? This dragon that must have died long enough ago that it's been picked clean within the Blastfire Bog. Speaking of which, I've got the wrong music going. You know, I never have opened this before. Oh yeah, that's boggy. That is boggy. Okay. Oh yeah, that's gloopy. I am very distracted. So, what do the bones say? I don't think they tell us how they came to be here yet. I think that it goes further back than that. I think that perhaps the bones tell us of a time when the dragon, the dragon met an adventurer bold enough to come and trade. An adventurer who knew of a dragon's hoard of treasures, and instead of saying, I will fight the dragon and slay the dragon and gain whatever's there, was instead so plucky that they brought another treasure and said, are you willing to evenly exchange? That is something that very few adventurers would be brave enough, willing enough to do. Because thinking about it, logically, what's to stop the dragon, this mighty being, this powerful force, from simply killing the adventurer and taking the treasure? The dragon knew it could. It certainly was it was a thought that immediately occurred, but it occurred in the context of what courage and audacity to bring this offer. The dragon was, luckily for the adventurer, amused enough that it was willing to play along, to play at a trade, to make a swap in exchange. Gave the adventurer the treasure they sought, accepted what was brought, and let them be. But this was a very long time ago. And perhaps in time it got its treasure back. What's the lifespan of an adventurer compared to that of a dragon? We sit and listen for a while. It's only a short story, it's all we have time for. We find some patches of coffee cap growing from between the claws of the dragon. Take them, get an oracle, and paddle back to the forest, where we drag it ashore, stow it away somewhere safe, and break out our broom to consider going up to the mountains. So, one thing that will help with finding the pixie fur if we take that route is that because I gain 2 points of foraging per attempt, I only need to fail to find it 3 times. It takes 1 point of travel to get there. We'd be cutting it close, and if anything happened that shortened our foraging time, we could fail completely. But it is technically within reach. Okay. Let's give it a try. Alright, let's give it a try. So I don't think I need this open anymore, though I do need to add 1 point sweet and make sure I remember that. So, crushed and boiled for senses. Done. Alright. I'm taking the risk. I'm going for the pixie fur. We take the broom. We fly up to the mountains. Not so high as the Isles themselves, but into the cooler rock faces. Not truly cold, not anymore. Summer is definitely here. But definitely more bearable than the boggy swamps. Alright. Let's go and try to find some pixie fur. We've got a few clouds in the sky, casting shadows on the mountain face. On a 4, I don't know why it's doing that. Always measure. I don't want that, thank you. Okay. So we gain 2 points on our foraging track. But we definitely haven't found it in one try. On a 4, you stop for a moment to rest by a wayfarer's stone. The rune-carved boulder provides much-needed warmth and comfort. You aren't the only one here today, though. A stranger from a far-off land stops to ask you something. What are they like? What do they want? And do they get it? The last time, it was a traveling monk from far, far away. This time, perhaps it's a traveler that was offered up as an NPC for my potential use. Perhaps. Let's see, we could introduce this individual, or we could save them for a future ailment. On second thought, let's save them for a future ailment. Let's come up with someone new, a passerby who may or may not return. A traveler from a far-off land. Last time, again, traveling monk. This time, I shall roll on some tables. Let's see. What have we got here? Possibly they're an adventurer of some kind. Let's see now. Where's my adventurer class? There we go. I'll roll a d12. A 9 gives me a wizard, so they are themselves some manner of spellcaster. Not necessarily a witch. Somebody who is perhaps more concerned with other matters of the world and magic. Someone who considers magic loftier than helping others. As if that is a meaningful measure. I don't think we like this individual very much. I think they speak as if being a witch in a far-off village, helping people with ailments, making lives better, is a waste of talents. This is a traveler from cities, from grand far-off lands and lofty towers. I think he's come to these backwater hills because they are rich in magical reagents. He wishes some for his experiments. Unfortunately, he's just off-putting enough that I think we're not very helpful. I believe that we send him in an incorrect direction. He could stumble upon what he's after if he's lucky. But if not, then, well, too bad for him. And with that, we're going to carry on searching for a pixie to take the fur from. Aha, a 10 will definitely be enough to net us one. Okay, interestingly, a shadow suddenly falls across you as a wild griffin dives for you. How do you escape the hungry beast? Lose 2 foraging points. I know how we escape the hungry beast. We've just parted ways with the snobby wizard. Not too far along the path, we see clear signs of pixie tracks on the stone. Bits of glitter and loose fur. It's not too much longer before we can set out a trap, catch a pixie in short order, and strip some of the loose molting fur off of it. They're starting to lose some with the onset of summer, so it's easier than usual. Just after we finish working and pack it away, we see the shadow fall, look up, and see the griffin. Mount the broom, and rush off across the mountainside. And by sheer luck, pass by the wizard. Duck behind a rock, and get to see the wizard try to fend off the dragon, while we take off stealthily under the cover of some trees in the lower areas. The wizard will be fine, the griffin will probably be fine. It's just an inconvenience that perhaps will convince the wizard that this is not the place for him. So, with that, and time to spare, though I am not taking the risk of exploring or losing any further time, we're gonna go ahead and get back to the cottage. We are going to mix up the crushed pixie fur with the crushed and boiled coffee cap. There we go. Pixie fur doesn't give me anything bonus, but that's fine. Coffee cap gives me 1 point of sweet. So, coffee cap mushroom and pixie fur. Crushed, boiled together, and served. This is going to clear this kid's mind. Honestly, given the coffee and the sweetness, I'm gonna say that it's like waking him up. It soothes the itchy feet, and also clears the mind. And with that, Marco is no longer going to try to run off and go on adventures, at least for now, and at least as long as he doesn't catch this again. Repeat cases are technically possible. I'm gonna write down that we found a dragon skeleton in the bog. Okay. Alright, so, on an intermediate potion, we get, I think it was 30 silver. Let me go ahead and double check that just to be certain. Yes, intermediate is 30 silver. A point of sweetness increases the reward by 4. I don't really feel the need to add any more from anything. So we're just going to go ahead and take our 34 silver. So that puts us at what? 129? And our reputation actually goes up by 2 because we did make a perfect potion. 18, we are that much closer to advanced. Advanced is, I think, 22 up. Yes, it is. 22 on up. So we are 4 points. Potentially 4 potions if none of them are perfect, but all of them are successful, away from hitting the advanced list. So if not this time, perhaps next. Alright, so we've got 6 points of downtime to spend. Clearly one of them is going to be feeding a potion to Bas Bata, but it's possible we might be able to get ingredients and make another. What we need is, let's see. We could use shield cap or rat spit. We could use giant spider venom or ambergris. Oh gosh. Well, Isles is relatively easy for ambergris and the rat spit. The rat spit's easier in dungeon or forest, but they're doable. If you wanted to stay in one area. Spider venom is forest, technically. Otherwise, we've got dungeon. Let's go to the dungeon. I think that we should go to Hero's Hollow, and I think that we should, see what we can find there. So, we've got only a little bit of time, for downtime. Let's go ahead. My dog is just howling. We're gonna ignore that. He's probably seen the stray cat that wanders around the neighborhood. He hates it when he sees that. Alright. So, let's go to the dungeon. We are looking for giant spider venom, if we are lucky enough, and rat spit, which should be really easy. So, let's go. Hero's Hollow. There you are. Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and keep this open. It's the only thing we really need to track. Let's go for the giant spider venom first. Dungeon 7. Oh, instead, we found a clue about the witch. What do we find? On a 9. Alright, a 9 is something we've gotten on that track before. Let's go ahead and see... If I go back to the previous track, you find out the witch supported a magic sports team. What was the sport? What was the team with this music in the background, guys? Alright. Okay. So we knew before that that Agnes had some, like, bolt hole places in various areas. We have not specified finding the one in the dungeons before. So, I'm going to say that this time, just off the entrance of Hero's Hollow, we, stumble upon... Something catches our eye. Something with the magic wand has caught our attention. A sparkle of light. Magic concealing a hidden entrance. We poke our way into the room to find out if there's anything useful there. And we find one of Agnes's little waypoints. Her hidden areas. This one is largely as normal. A place to rest, a place for a campfire, provisions in sealed crates and boxes, all magically protected and preserved. There is one very small detail, however, that we just hadn't come across before, which was a little pennant flag in a magical sports team set of colors and design and name. So, this magical sports team, what was the sport and what was the team? I think that the sport probably has to do with batting a magical ball of light around. Think of it as a version of perhaps a little bit of magical volleyball, where there are rules about maybe how many times you can hit it in a row. You have to rely on your teammates to carry it for a little bit, to direct it where it needs to go. The other team is trying to do the same thing. And I think that instead of it being done physically, they are kind of arrayed on their field in certain positions that they aren't really able to or allowed to move from very much. And they're supposed to hit this little magical ball with little jets of power, little sparks, little pings from their wands or staves. The goal is probably to hit the ball beyond the opponent's goal line, and to prevent them from doing the same to you. There might be some additional weird rules about hitting it certain number of times in a row by a team. It might change color depending on how many times it's been hit by one side or the other. Whether that's a good thing or a bad, I'm not sure. I'm not coming up with the entire rule set. It is not like a physical excitement, but it is definitely a magical one, and it is also like a test of endurance of some sort. That kind of even incredibly minor spell casting, but over and over in quick succession for an extended period of time, means that, like with a physical sports team, you have to be in very good shape, magically speaking, in order to participate, especially in a competitive level. And so you have to train up for it. You have to strengthen that magical reserve. And so you still have that sense of almost athletics, magically speaking. Now, what is the sports team? That's the hard part, because that's me coming up with a name for something. So if anybody wants to pitch in, please do. In the meantime, I'm just going to make a note of the sports team and the facts thereof. Okay, the team is named. I don't think that High Rannoc has enough of a magical population, per se, to actually have a team together themselves. So it's probably, if it's a local thing, it's either belonging to the nearby city or to the area at large. I am always partial to a little bit of alliteration. That being said, I am also very bad at naming things. At least on the fly. Oh, let's see. Is there anything in any of my little book charts that will help me with this? I've got a randomizer for colors and metals. I don't know if... I mean, you know what? That'll help a little bit with the team color set. So I'm gonna roll twice on this d12 for 2 of the team colors. Now it is a d12 because they are including kind of interspaced colors like red, red-orange, orange, orange-yellow, etc. So let's just go ahead and see where that gets us. Green is one color, and blue is the other. Green and blue. Okay, that is very, like, land and sky, land and sea sort of themed, at least in my mind. So, let's see. Do I have anything that'll help with the name? We know it's blue and green, which is not exactly the most contrasty color set, but whatever. I think there might be one where the, I've got a list of, like, tavern names, but I've got the feeling that might not help. I can always try for it, though. Okay. Tavern name generator. There's a couple of variants. There's the, adjective noun, and then the noun and noun. We're really only after probably adjective noun at best. And we want it to be something that can plural easily. So let's go ahead and see if I get anything from this. It could be also verb and noun. So I'm going to skip the one that I rolled that says in as the second word. That doesn't make sense. You know what? I don't think that's gonna work. The ones with animal names have potential. But I'm not sure that's quite what I'm after. Sheep. I don't think so somehow. Sheep can be the mascot. It could be something on the slopes, something on the highlands. Honestly, something with goats would probably work. They're trying to batter a ball across the other lines, so the imagery of a goat headbutting something is probably going to be on point. I am devoting so much time to this, but it's so silly. So the goat. What's something that begins with a G? Something goats. Something goats. Could be a town name. Got High Rannoc we know of. Was there a different town in the area? The G something goats. Let's see. What are some Scottish town names? I am not doing Glasgow. I'm sorry, that is far too on the nose. We're not doing that. We're not doing Glasgow. And of course, that's all I'm really getting when I try to look something up. List of towns and cities in Scotland by population. This feels like a terrible idea. Oh, hold on, there was an A to Z one. Town list. Give me the G's. What have we got? Oh, quite a few. I'm sorry. Greenock. Greenock. Like High Rannoc, we've got Greenock. The Greenock goats. If anybody knows of the place Greenock in Scotland, surprise shout out, I guess. I have no idea what you're about, but you are now donating your name, your town name, to a fictional magical sports team in a silly little single-player game that some random person on the internet is playing. This is not going to reach anybody there, but it'd be funny if it did. Alright, that aside, we have learned something new about our great aunt Agnes. Never knew she was a bit of a magical sports buff, but apparently she cared enough to support the team and have a little pennant and pin it to the wall to put a little color into her her hero's hollow hidey hole. Oh man! Alright, so that was us attempting to get giant spider venom. We have an entire dosed up deer that we're trying to feed them, fake deer in order to get the venom out. Let's go ahead and keep going. Oh, a king is definitely going to get us that. It's also probably going to give us trouble. What is a king for Hero's Hollow? Oh! Oh, guys. Oh, no. I really hope that some of you are here right now. 'Cause, this one's a doozy. So, you bump into the Dark Ruler of the Underlands, Master of Shadows. They apologize and invite you to dinner in their throne room. What purpose does this dinner serve? A trap? A date? Something else? As part of their plans, they open a portal to the strange. Why? Every time you get this result, write about the encounter. Oh, this opens the portal. Oh, guys, we can access the strange now. I think that's the thing. I think that's the thing that opens the portal. I'm not seeing anything else that references it. So that has just happened. We can now get to the strange regularly. Oh, guys. Oh, no. Okay. So. Oh. So, technically, we did get the spider venom. So, that's gonna happen first. We do the regular thing. The deer with the hollow portion that collects the venom, the sneaking in and taking it out once the spiders have gotten drugged and gone to sleep. As we're heading out with the venom extracted, we bump into the Master of Shadows. What is the Dark Ruler of the Underlands here? What kind of figure or being is this? I'll say for maximum possibilities, this individual is probably some manner of shapeshifter. Like, they can appear in a number of guises. So right now, they could be in, let's call it their casual wear. Mostly human-shaped in an appearance. Not terribly tall, probably less than 7 feet. So, we bump into the Dark Ruler of the Underlands. They've definitely met Agnes before. They don't know where Agnes is. They didn't converse terribly often. This Dark Ruler of the Underlands has a very busy schedule. However, just knowing a bit of witches of the Overlands, perhaps it is beneficial to keep up some amiable relations with the Overland Witch of the area. Oh, that is, let's see, Dark Ruler of the Underlands is the title. They open a portal to the strange, which I'm just gonna go ahead and put on the strange's music and ambience. So technically the portal is open. I think that their castle is within the strange, their home, the place where they would invite us to dinner in their throne room. The portal is a thing that they don't always allow everybody through, but given that we are the witch and that we have been taking this role for a while, he does have informants. He is aware of a goblin that we helped in the past. I think that to narratively make sense of the strange always being accessible. The portal is something like a door that can be closed, locked, open, whatever. Normally, it is not accessible to just anybody. The Dark Ruler passes through every now and again to check on things in the hollow and then to return home. And as the successor to Agnes, as the new witch in the area, we are granted key to the portal. As such, we can access the strange now, even if it's not necessarily something where there is now a permanent portal open. We just know how to get there and we can use it. So, the strange, I'm just going to read it out since we are basically getting to the area now. A land of friendly demons, errant magic, and impossible structures. After the initial confusion of entering such a place, it can actually be quite quaint. Just follow their rules and be a good guest while in their realm. Oh, and be careful with what you eat. The demons here like to play pranks on unassuming mortals. I think in this case, the Dark Ruler is going to not play a prank on us. We're going to be given a very nice dinner. All right. It's not a trap. It's not a date. It is the opening to a potential business or working relationship. And the working relationship could be as distant as you do your thing, I do my thing. We are going to be neighbors. We are going to be working in similar circles and areas. However, I think there is with this more of a possibility of the Dark Ruler bringing up again the goblin we helped before, just towards the end of the meal, hinting that if we are, based on our conduct so far, if there are any residents of their realm that require magical assistance, require healing, or the fixing of some form of ailment, he might just send them our way upon a midnight. Alright, so we have one giant spider venom. There we go. Save changes. We can relatively easily find a little bit of rat spit. Oh, liquid fire just got real easy to find. Oh man. Okay. So let's go ahead and, after we part ways, we're going to just try to find a little bit of rat spit on the way out of the dungeon. A 4 will definitely get us that. What else do we find in Hero's Hollow? You stumble upon a little shop of sorts run by a small furry creature. It gestures excitedly to its collection of goods, which range from rings to swords to journals, and asks to trade. What do you give and what do you get? Alright, this is the point where you guys are free to, metaphorically speaking, shoot me with the thing that you think that I, playing the character of Viola, absolutely would have to trade or get. You got me with the hat last time. This is yet another chance. It's not going to be something with any sort of mechanical benefit. It is purely for flavor. However, it could end up costing me something. So, hit me. What is available that Viola might want to trade for, might want to get? Could be as simple as trading old coat for new, or old shoes for new, or something. Could be a nice, like, leather wand holster. She does have a new wand. Could be a pin to put through the new hat. Keep it on the head. Pure hatpin style. Let's see. If there's no offerings, then I could just roll. Oh, I've got a table of trinkets and tables of books and things. I could potentially just roll on that. If you don't want to precision... I can't speak. If you do not want to precision strike me with something, then I could just kind of go on the peculiar knickknacks and flavor items. And I could just roll a couple of things on there, and we'll see what we come up with. So this is a D100 list in a book called Table Fables. I like this thing for just generating random stuff. There's mundane treasures, there's peculiar knickknacks, there's magic items. They are not necessarily geared towards any particular system, so it's up to you to figure out what the heck mechanically any of it means. But it's great for just generating things on the fly and just having a list of stuff handy and ready to go. So let's go, let's see, that's a 68. I will roll 3 things for the sake of... Oh, you know what? I've got 3 lists. Mundane treasure, peculiar knickknacks and flavor items, and magic items. I'm gonna roll 1 on each, so that was a 68 on mundane treasure. A sealed bottle of wine. Magical bookshelf assembly required. Every week 1 book will appear on it for a few hours. That is precision. That is a precision strike. That hits me. That hits me so hard because I also have lists of random books that I can generate too. This book has good stuff for that as well. Magical bookshelf assembly required. Every week 1 book appears on it for a few hours. Basically every downtime, if I have 1 spot of downtime left, I can read. Okay. So, I'm just gonna roll, that's gonna be the magic item. I'm gonna roll for the peculiar stuff. So there's a sealed bottle of wine. There's, nothing's gonna compete with the bookshelf in all likelihood. 51. A silver cuff engraved with your name. Spooky! It's probably just, glamoured to reflect the name of whoever looks at it. And a magical bookshelf. The magical bookshelf is going to win. Who am I kidding? Who am I kidding? Alright. Okay. What do we trade for a magical bookshelf? You know what? I think that we're going to trade an IOU. And the IOU is going to be, the next time I need to make a wand in my next downtime. And then I need to give the wand to this shopkeep. I think that we do not need to go find them. I just need to spend the time making the wand. They will know, and they will come to... I have to leave it outside the cottage overnight on a particular day next week, and they will pick it up. So I'm going to need to make a wand for them. So. God, alright. Let's see. I think that I'm going to real quick open up the Wandcraft PDF in my side thing, just so I have that. There we go. Go back to my soundtrack. There we go. Alright. I'm going to real quick write down, got a magical bookshelf. The furry trader in the hollow. 1 book appears on it for a few hours. Need to make them a wand of their own. You know what? I think that the wand is not going to be a next week. It's going to be a this week thing, because I think I've got the time. Every one of his books is a copy of a manuscript lost to time. Okay, so basically it's a fully lost book. The book appears, it vanishes, I will never be able to find another copy of it. Mean, but also very on point for the flavor of this thing. It's good to hold books. Like, it's good to keep your books as well, but there's always going to be one that appears. Alright, okay. So, for Wandcraft, I am going to get, just while I'm here in the Hero's Hollow, I'm going to get some mahogany from a device left to rot for the wood, and then I'm going to try and find just one more reagent in the Hollow to make that the core. Technically, I could go to the Strange as well, now that I have that. What is going to be both doable and a good little flavor piece for it? Dark water would be the funniest dang thing. Dark water would be so funny. Hermit snail could kind of work. Cold rust. Honestly, the blue rust, I feel like that's interesting. Picking up power as it grows. It tends to eat through magic, but I imagine that in turning it into a wand, we would basically be neutralizing that part and just making the magic accessible. I kind of like that. It's Dungeon 2, so I can find it relatively easily. I would just have to basically risk one more event here, and then get home and make the wand. So, let's go ahead and try to get that little bit of cold rust. Definitely found it. A 7 in the Hero's Hollow. Oh, god damn it, we've found the Baron again. The goddamn suit of armor. The poltergeist that's clattering around and, what ho, challenging everybody to duels. Alright, we get the cold rust, we have stored it away, and the Baron comes clattering around the corner and stops, sees us, and says, "Stand! Stand and deliver!" And they're not trying to mug us, they're just trying to fight us. So, we draw 3 cards for yourself, then 4 for the Baron. If the Baron's total is higher, they score a wound. You lose 2 foraging points, which is not a concern right now, so quite frankly, we can biff this and it's fine. So, 3 cards for us. 9. Joker does not count, so I'm getting rid of that. Queen and an ace. So that is 10, and Queen is 12, so 22. We might have a chance, maybe. 2. 11. That makes 14. 18. We beat the bugger! Alright, okay. If your total is higher, they congratulate you with a reagent. Draw a card and treat it as a dungeon reagent of the same value. Ha! I just realized I had the strange music going this whole time. We're in the dungeons, technically. Hero's Hollow. For the 2 seconds that remain. Okay. Alright, so we get a reagent of value 8. Or potentially lower. 1 reagent equal to 8 for the dungeon, not the strange, so that is going to be important. A lot of this is not going to be particularly accessible. Ghost goo is potential and funny coming from a poltergeist, to be quite honest. Giant spider venom is something that we genuinely need more of right now. Dark water, generally useful, however we now have access to it much easier. Salamander urine is 8 exactly. And probably is not bad to have on hand, given that fact. So, the same value, I'm gonna stick with the rule as written, as it were, and say it's the same value. I am getting salamander urine. Thank you very much, Baron Poltergeist. Where's my reagents on hand? There we go. I don't think I have any more of this, so I'm just going to go ahead and put it down here. If I do, then it doesn't hurt to have another entry. Well, I'll just very quickly know that I have that many of it. Okay. Okay. So that was technically a move in order to get the cold rust. It is a move to get back to the house, and it is going to be one in order to make the wand. And we'll set it outside in a box as instructed. One more move, I'll say, to assemble the bookshelf. That is going to take the rest of our free time for this week. It could be a day. It is very loose in how the time breaks down on purpose. We assemble the bookshelf. So, we will not be getting a book this week, but we will get one next time. Thank you, that was an excellent suggestion. And with those adventures over, we wake the next week to find the wand gone, payment fulfilled. And with that, we come around to the second week of summer. We have one potion brewed, but not yet delivered. We have the ingredients for one more potion, but quite frankly, we've got a lot to do on that front. That's going to be a very, very long project. Right now, however, a more immediate issue has come up. What has come to our door this time? On a 4 in intermediate ailments. Oh, we get the restless bones again. So, usually caught from necromantic ritual sites, disease causes the afflicted skeleton to try to escape. We have dealt with this before. We genuinely have dealt with this before. Let's see, what did we do? We did mellow jello with hermit snail shells and glitter snow. Now, here's the thing. Glitter snow is going to be harder to find. We might need to change up the recipe. Because Moonbreaker Mountain, let's see, glitter snow, it's also in the forest. But I think it's like plus in the summer to the required number to find it. Yeah, it's +5 in the summer. So even on the mountains, it requires a 9 to discover. That was the ingredient we used for magic, 2 stars. However, we did that at a time when we did not have access to the variety of areas we do now. So, genuinely we can keep the hermit snail shells. I believe those are found in Heroes Hollow. Maybe other areas, let's see, but yep, Dungeon 2, and that's going to be relatively easy to find. Oh, we also have to determine who has it this time. Last time it was the baker. I think that someone else has it this time. Let's see, 1 second. I am writing down bones. I think that's just 1 star, yes it is. Oh, and there's a possibility we could do this perfectly, because hermit snail, when crushed, is bones and bones alone. And we need magic 2. So, there's a lot more ingredients we can get a hold of. There are areas we have access to we didn't before. There is a wand we have that can now get magic, like, wand required ingredients. So, frankly, I think it's time to revisit the recipe. Alright, so first of all, is there anything in here 2 stars magic that we can get a hold of? I'd like it if my mouse actually scrolled down when I scrolled it down. It would be ideal if it did the thing that it was supposed to do. Dark water adds 3 points of sweet, which is good. Added raw for cough, hot, magic, but causes sleep. That's okay. It's a strange one, so it would be so easy to get hold of. it will prevent us from the perfection of it. So I do want to keep looking, however, I am coming back to that if need be. Oh wait, yeah, it is 2-star, perfect, okay. Is there anything else that does magic? Cold Rest is only 1-star, so no. Weird Water in the Strange for 10, that can fill any requirements, but I don't think we need to go quite that far for it. It would give us the perfection of it, but, I'd sooner go for the Dark Water. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and leave this on Dark Water, right there, and then just check some other options. So, magic. Cynic Ivy, which is senses and magic. Dark Water is better. It does a lot more stuff, yes, but it's like, at that point, it doesn't make a difference, and it's easier to get. Cynic Ivy is actually easier to get in the summer. Good to know, but still, not worth it at the moment. Magic, magic, magic. Oh, let me scroll, please. Magic. Where is the stuff that okay, Star Shard. Unfortunately, we are no longer in the first ailment of the season. The stars have fallen, and many of them have been removed or subsumed, or whatever the case may be. We can get a hold of it, but again, Dark Water is genuinely easier. Frankly, I don't know if that's intended to be a thing where, oh, you need an ingredient that gets rid of sleep, that treats sleep, because it's literally the only thing that does anything like that. I ignored it last time I used Dark Water in something, to be quite honest. I don't know if you're supposed to or not. There is no explanation for that. Let's see. Yeah, Dark Water still seems to be the better option. But we haven't looked in Grove or, the Loch as of yet. So, Loch, let's see. Have we got a magic thing? It's easier for me to just drag the stupid thing than to use the scroll. Time and magic. Stone scales, that's overkill. Yeah, basically if I can't find one that's magic and magic alone, then I'm just gonna go for the Dark Water. Partly because I can get a hold of some other things there. Let's see. Antlers. +2 in summer isn't great. And there are also a lot of different things, so once again, the Dark Water's better. Alright. Okay. Yep, not a single thing treats magic and magic alone. Magic is always bundled with something else, so we are not going to be getting anything better for the Restless Bones. So, I think the Dark Water is what we're doing. Let's see, Restless Bones is Magic 2, and, literally Bones 1. Okay. Bones is Hermit Snail Shells. And Dark Water for the magic. So Dark Water is going to be Strange 1, and it's also 3 points sweet. So we don't need to add honey to this one, that's for sure. I should probably start actually trotting the honey out for more things, but so far I've been pretty lucky. So we just add the Dark Water raw, the Hermit Snail, oh, it was just below. Dungeon 2, so this is going to be really easy. Okay. Strange 1 and Dungeon 2. Alright. Guys, we are delving. We are going deep, and we are gonna start in the Hero's Hollow and then move from there to the Strange. There is no timer on Restless Bones. There is nothing inherently threatening about it. It's just uncomfortable, and nobody likes it. Oh yes, I got distracted again. Whose bones are restless? Whose bones are restless? Have we been sent our first monster? I don't know. You know what? Let's go ahead and randomize it a little bit. Let's, Heart Villager, Diamond Adventurer, Club Monster, and, Spade is a repeat patient. We've got a repeat patient. So, patients that we have treated so far, somebody has come in with Restless Bones. If it's somebody in High Rannoc, then probably Mercutio, the baker, recommended us when he found out they basically came to get bread, and he went, oh, I had that, you can just go and, you know, get this potion done. Let's see, we gave them, like, mellow jello, which was, like, a gelatin sweetened with candy rock, so he probably recommends it on taste alone. Well, good news is for them is they're getting something sweet again. Alright. We have treated in the past, Mercutio, of course, though I want someone different. Xavier, a hunter who caught hover hives before. And being a hunter and going out and about, he could very easily have gotten into, like, a necromantic ritual site and not known it. Garrett, the Reeve of High Rannoc. How he would have come up with that, I don't know. Marco, if he decided in a fit of stupidity to, like, have a sleepover in a graveyard with his friends in that, like, dumb teen and college student kind of way. Other than that, past patients have also included, let's see, some travelers. There was the bookbinder from the city. There was another traveler who got pollen pox at a point, but I don't think we fleshed her out very much. A merchant who sells little cloth things. Let's see. I think I like the idea of Xavier the Hunter. Just because he seems like he's got enough of a, like a going about thing. It's like he knows to avoid poison ivy. He does not necessarily know to avoid something causing restless bones. Like, he camped out one night in a sheltered area and had no idea it had been used for a necromantic ritual at a point in the past. And so, it settled into his bones. It wasn't an active site, it was old, it was overgrown. But he just was not aware, and there was enough lingering, like, energy, magic in the area that it seeped in overnight. So, okay. So, we are going, of course, to the dungeon, to Hero's Hollow. We've got to hit 2 or better in order to find hermit snail shells. On a queen, we have most definitely succeeded. However, that is going to come with its own interesting little aspect, because sometimes the weirder things are on the higher numbers. Okay. So that is an event that goes down. On a queen, there is an ancient demon bound in a chamber at the center of Hero's Hollow. We had to go deep to find the snail shells this time. As you pass by, it calls out that it's bored. It asks about you, about your career, and about the world outside. Do you talk with it? Every time you get this result, write about your relationship with this congenial convict. Do you ever help them escape, and if so, how? But that is something we're not considering right now. An ancient demon bound in a chamber at the center of the hollow. They're not going to answer our questions. They're just asking their own. Congenial means they're friendly enough. So they probably call out relatively politely. Hello, excuse me. You out there. Who are you? You're not one of the usuals. Intrigued enough, but still just magically knowledgeable and cautious enough not to give away a name willy-nilly. Viola might pause and just say, I'm the witch from up above. Oh, what are you doing down here? Didn't know there was a new witch. Been a while since I saw the last one. Hunting for some reagents. Who are you? What are you doing here? Now, who I am isn't that important. Just call me Prisoner 1. I think that they might ask what the world is like up there. They don't have conversation very often, and most of the beings that pass by here are native to the Hollow, or at least to the strange. I think that we answer a few questions, but Viola dodges quite a lot, and eventually I have to go. Someone's waiting on me. Come back and chat anytime. I miss hearing another voice that, gives intelligent conversation. Alright, that could potentially be a problem in the future. For right now, however, we head to the archway that is the portal to the strange. We key through and head inside. Dark water is going to be easy to find here. Many of the beings here quite enjoy it, and this is the origin of it. We're hardly going to need to search. All we need to do is... Oh, that actually took one in order to get there. All we need to do is get to it and then get out. In the meantime, anything could happen. This place is weird. This place, the strange fits it. It's topsy-turvy. The structures and the architecture twists and turns in impossible directions. It is very hard to navigate. On a 6, you wander into a bizarre bazaar, a place that sells everything and anything. You see wizards selling crystal balls and magic tomes, demons selling dreams and shadows, a strange little creature selling stolen socks. You may buy any magic reagent here for 3 silver times its foraging value. Do you buy anything else while you're here? You have another opportunity to hit me, guys. In the meantime, I am going to look at the various magic reagents and see if there's anything that I really, really want to have on hand easily for 3 silver times its foraging value. If not, then maybe I skip that. But for right now, I'm going to do a little search, and anybody out there, feel free to wallop me with another silly little trinket thing. Let's see, I need magic fairy dust. Mood and curse, but it's fairly easy to find. Well, the thing is, the easy ones to find are going to be the cheap ones, aren't they? So fairy dust is 1. Glitter snow. Ooh. Glitter snow this time of year is getting tricky. And frankly, it might not be a bad thing to have on hand. Now, the thing is, it's any magic reagent for 3 times its foraging value. Foraging values vary depending on where they are. Like, the best I can potentially say is 3 times its first foraging value, like the first place being the keystone one. Because songberries would be easy, you know, it's only got 1, but then you got coffee cap, which is forest and bog for 2 different values, that sort of thing. So maybe it just needs to be the foraging value of the first place that you find it, or that you can find it. So, like, while I compiled them all into single list, but, like, Milkstone would be Mountain 1 instead of Forest 4 for that sort of thing. It's now a lot easier for us to find. We now have a wand. But I think that makes some amount of sense. So, Glitter Snow has great potential. 3 times 9 is 27. So it's a fair amount of silver. But it would be an ingredient that we currently cannot find for the rest of the season. A Snake's Promise? Ooh, that's gonna be really expensive. Frankly, I don't think I want to go for it because I'll be able to find it in a bog much more easily. It's just not worth it to me. Whisper of a Cat? I can find it fairly easily myself now. Amethyst Antlers are up a little bit with the summer. Okay, 3 times the foraging value, including modifiers or not? I'm genuinely not sure now. Yeah, I might not want to spend it. Honestly, Pixie Fur has been useful for various rash things, especially because it's a single element thing. And 3 times 6, 18 is really not that bad for just having something always on hand that I've had to go and get before. So I think that I might consider the Pixie Fur. I'm just going to hold on to that for a second while I examine the others. That's easy. That's... oh, difficult. Time and magic isn't something I've had to do a lot with. And 3 stars... I'm going to hit advanced, and I'm pretty sure that 3-star stuff is going to be more important. Decorative armor plates made from rare material called moon-kissed brass. Perfect for earth elementals or golems. Now see, that is neat. That is neat. It's not hitting me with the same accuracy that the bookshelf did. I will consider it. But it's not hitting me the same way yet. In the meantime, Siren Song. Oh, that's gonna be easy to get, especially in the summer with a wand now. That's fine. Honestly, having a wand is making this a lot less of a, of an event where I'm like, oh, this is such an opportunity, and a little bit more of a, well, what can I get that's, like, decently, like, useful to have on hand and decently tricky to get sometimes. Because as of... oh, I can just get Candy Rock. Okay, that's a potential. I've got other sources of sweet, though. I've got free sources of sweet. I don't need to. Star Shards have potential for Magic and Curse. It'd be 3 times 5 for 15. Goat's Echo is fine. I'm pretty good there. Innocent Suffering, I don't really think I need to. Yeah, right now I'm really feeling like the Pixie Fur. Might just be getting that. Crow Coal, it's alright. Don't think so, though. Because I can get that Bog 4 very easily. Liquid Fire, of course, I've unlocked the area that makes it simpler. Skeleton Dust is just a flat 5 in the dungeon no matter what. Teeth, bones, and hair. Basilisk's gaze. No. Dark water I'm just getting here anyway as part of this like foraging thing, so I don't have to pay for it. I'm just kind of finding it here. Probably I'm like buying it for very, very cheap, cheaper than this 3 times thing or something like that. Negligible enough that it doesn't cost anything. Pure flavor. So I'm picking up the dark water on the way in this bazaar. Oh, ghost goo. Maybe. Maybe. Spirit and curse. No, I think I'm gonna go ahead and pick up some extra pixie fur, honestly. I think that's the way to go. So pixie fur is 6 times 3 is 18, which will put the silver down at 111. That's fun. That is fun and hard to read. Holy, this font is not friendly to that. Okay. God, I need to change that. I need a different number there. I might need to buy something. Decorative armor plates. Doesn't sound like an 11 silver purchase, to be honest. I want to get something for 11 silver. So I can roll on my silly little items thing. Where's my reagents on hand? There we go. Now the question is, do I already have any pixie fur? I do not. So I'm just gonna pop that in here. Okay. Save changes. There we go. Right. Magical quill that notes your dreams, but only the surreal one. That's interesting. That's a weird one. Fittingly weird for the strange. 5 silver merchants selling it seems shady. Do you think I can find a magical quill that, instead of noting dreams... Let's see, what else could magical quill do aside just from noting dreams? Obviously there's the idea of speaking, it's the like speech to text sort of thing. There is that. That almost seems too easy. That almost seems too easy an effect for a quill to have. Also, he's far too shady. Far too shady. Even for a being of the strange. Let's see. I really want to do something with magical quill. I'm just having trouble thinking. Maybe noting the dreams is decent enough. You know what? Flavor-wise, let's go for a little magical quill. Maybe it has some other effects that we'll figure out, so... let's go ahead and do it. Why not? We're here for being sillies. Alright. Magical quill is acquired, and with that, let's see, there was one for the first thing, there was travel, there was the second thing, that should be right there. We have all of the ingredients we need, and we have, honestly, a wealth of time in front of us. Stuff in here that I can just get more of. Very easily, I can... let's go hunting for some liquid fire. Quite frankly, I need 2 more instances of the infection ingredient, and then I'm going to need, like, 3 more each of something in here, but, like, if I can find 2 instances of liquid fire, in the strange, that's a 3. And I feel like exploring the strange more is a good idea. So, Technically, I'm at the bazaar. I can just purchase liquid fire, I think. Because it is magic. But it would be like the 6 times 3 for 18. You know what? I think that I'm going to be happier searching for it. It is only a 3. I need 2 instances of it. I'm going to go find my own. This place is a little overpriced. Let's go. We got our treasures. We've got our dark water. We've got what we need. Let's go hunting liquid fire. On a... Oh god, the king is going to be the biggest thing, isn't it? Alright. Oh, maybe not. Oh, interesting. Guys, we need a new NPC. We need a new NPC. And looking at the one just above it, which was honestly what I'd expect here, it seems like the Dark Ruler of the Underlands is not the same as the Ruler of the Strange, so their throne room would be in the dungeon. There's a different Ruler of the Strange. Good to know. Good to know. So we'll just kind of revise that that narrative from before, because I was incorrect in some assumptions. However, a king has nothing to do with that. You aren't the first human to end up here. A building so normal that it looks entirely out of place stands by the Skull Gate. Who lives there? How did they end up here? And do the two of you get on? Who has come here, and who has made a home in the Strange? Who and why? Let's see. I'm just noting the magic quill. Let's see. Found a home. Alright, so again, Table Fables has charts for things like, traits, for, let's see, appearance, other little details like that. I don't think there's anything for, like, how friendly someone is to you, personally. No, wait, NPC disposition. There it is, D6. I'm gonna go ahead and roll the NPC disposition. On a 4, they are impolite. This is something that could change in time. This could just be a initial impression of impoliteness. So with that, let's see, age is going to be middle age, so they've been here a while for sure. I rolled for gender, male, okay. Impolite man, middle-aged, been here a while, human. Let's see. See any particular job or role or anything? Someone eccentric. Ooh, an artist. I like the direction of artist. That is a different direction. I'll roll like a character trait and just see if that informs anything. 29. 29 is friendly, which, okay, friendly and impolite can still work. You can have somebody friendly, but like so bad at social cues that they come off as rude, right? Right? It's the idea of like absolute enthusiasm and genuinely likes people, but also has absolutely no filter and will not stop themselves from saying something very overt, like you know, oh, why'd you put that on? Why are you wearing that? It looks terrible on you. And they mean well by it. but it comes across so badly, and I just rolled another character trait and it's stylish, so the "why are you wearing that, you should dress better" suddenly has a whole new meaning. So, eccentric, definitely. I am now imagining somebody in, like, a full, like, dapper Victorian gentleman's outfit with a top hat and a monocle. It's not necessarily the image I'm going forward with, but it is a general idea that's floating around in my head. Let's see. Okay, I need a name that suits this level of energy. And if I do not get something, I'm gonna default to probably, like, a Rupert or something. Gerard. Actually, Gerard. So, we've met Gerard. Okay. So, Gerard, a stylish artist, friendly but impolite, without any sort of social filter over the things he says. Middle-aged, and has been here a while. Honestly, he would probably... I'm gonna say probably the reason why he moved here is because he was so bad at human society politeness that he just kind of was like, yeah, everybody was so rude to me before, but around here, they got on fine, because the demons in the area do not care if he's blunt. They're blunt too, it's fine. And so he ironically gets on way better with the average resident of the Strange than he ever did with anybody in a higher society. And, like his artwork, his, like, sketches and paintings have absolutely flourished here. We have met the guy who basically is, like, MC Escher, but he's painting from actual life. He is drawing the impossible architecture of the Strange, and it would probably pass in the upside as the wildest, most imaginative, like, perspective-bending art ever, but down here it's just, yeah, that's what that street corner looks like. There are indeed 5 angles to it. Alright. This is a fantastic NPC, and we need to run into him again. Oh, I love him immediately. Okay. So, we do find one of the, bits of liquid fire that we need. We need one more dose of it, basically. So we've basically exhausted one area in, just a pool that had gathered by the Skull Gate, just outside of it, and so the house definitely caught our attention. However, we need to wander onwards and try to find, let me do this ahead of time, I might forget, try to find a bit more, which we absolutely do. So that is another liquid fire, and frankly, that's all of the infection elements that we need for the remaining 4 potions. We are definitely going to need to buckle down on the pain and teeth ones. However, for right now, a 10 in the Strange. You get swept up by a walking tour. The crowd moves so fast and so tight together that you can't get out until they're done. Write one thing you learn about the city and decrease the timer by 1. Oh. The city was actually founded from a central hub location, a spring-up market that came about from a number of merchants running into each other in the in this in-between space in the that was the Strange. Mostly demons, occasional wizards who were passing by, and there was the equivalent of a strange weather event. Something that required them to hunker down. They did so, And in so doing, they were forced in proximity. They began to talk, they began to trade among themselves. And when the weather event broke, and they could pass along their separate ways, it was with an agreement that this wasn't so bad, actually. We should do this again sometime. Meetups got scheduled. Eventually, the temporary market started to have slightly more permanent stalls, and then houses, and then it grew out from there. However, we have definitely decreased the timer by 1. We are moving along. Okay. So, we can try to make the most of the rest of our time. We only have a little bit left before we start getting worried about getting back in time. So, let's go ahead and we'll leave the strange, which takes a movement no matter where we go. Let's get into the dungeon and let's just try to find more rats to wring the spit out of. Sounds so enticing and wonderful, doesn't it? Alright, so Dungeon 2, which should be relatively easy. We need 3 instances of this, but if we don't get them all now, it's fine, it's okay. A 7, we definitely get 1. So we have increased our stores of rat spit for fixing this problem. On a 7 in the Hero's Hollow. Oh, the goddamn Baron again! Alright, we fight the Baron. Let's fight the Baron. A 1, a 2, a 3. I don't think we're winning this one, guys. We are not winning. Nope. Nope, the Baron just beat us, oh, so handily. Oh, that went so badly. Oh, no. Well, that's an event. We have lost some foraging points, but that's fine. We were not compiling foraging points. We had found the thing we were looking for immediately and without question, so we're fine. We continue to hunt for rat spit after getting free of the Baron. Just goddamn stupid little... Alright, another instance of rat spit is found. That puts us at 3. That puts us at here. If we lose time, we are definitely heading home after this. Honestly, we might head home after this regardless. Let's see. On a 5, you find a rough map of the dungeon lying on the ground. It's got a lot of details wrong, but does point out the location of a reagent. Draw a card and treat it as a dungeon reagent of the same value. Alright, 2, we get more rat spit. Let's go. That's it. That's it. We got all of the rat spit we need. We do not need to get any shield cap for this. It's fine. Okay. We are not hunting giant spider venom, not with the time we have left. I think that we just return home. We are going to crush some hermit snail shells and mix them directly into the dark water. That thing has 3 points of sweet. We are basically putting some grit into soda, is what we're doing. If we grind them fine enough, it probably just becomes a powder that dissolves, and that's what I'm gonna go with. So, with that, we have created a new potion of Restless Bones. This one is the Gritty Cola. So, Gritty Cola has been created for Restless Bones. 3 points of sweet. We did not do it perfectly, because Dark Water goes for a lot of effects. So, we are not getting bonus reputation, but we are getting 1 for success. So we're that much closer to advanced. We get 34. No, wait, 3 points of sweet. That's 12. 12 and 30. That's 42, which puts us at 148. Oh gosh. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna be gathering some stuff pretty soon. Okay. All right, that gets us into some downtime. Okay. First things first. I think that we need to try to deliver that one potion we've brewed. Just because we do have to do that for every single one. I don't think you can do it all at once. Just in fairness' sake. So we are heading down to the Loch. And the vision that I had in my head for how we administer these potions is this. Picture, if you will, the witch on her broom, with her wand, trailing an illusory, silvery, glittery fish of light, at the center of which floats the potion, just over the surface of the water, until we see Bas Bata just below the waves, and then we start to fly like hell in order to bait Bas Bata into coming up from the waves and chomping and swallowing the potion, getting it all over his tooth. I think that is going to be how we spend one bit of time. And I'm going to move one into here. Save changes. Okay. Alright, with that, we've got a little bit of time left to us, not a lot. Is it worth trying to find ambergris here? I think that it might be easier to find this time of year. No, it is not. It is just a 13 on the Loch, which means it's probably not particularly worth it. We'd be better off going up to the Isles. And even then, it's not a guarantee. Okay. We've administered one of the 5 potions. Bas Bata is still in pain, still upset. I think then we might as well try and fly up to the Isles and see if we can find ambergris. Which, for the record, I don't think I ever read this. Found floating atop denser clouds or in the ponds of some floating islands, this sky whale excretion is incredibly valuable for perfume making and medicine. So yeah, if you know anything about real-life ambergris and where it comes from, yep. Yep. We're getting whale waste is what we're doing. Sky whale waste in this case. Alright, so that is potentially a search of 9, which we might not be able to get, but we're going to give it a shot up in the Isles. Speaking of which, it took us a little bit of time to get there, but did that. And with that, we've got a 4, which is not going to be enough, but we do get 2 of our foraging points on our track. On a 4. Ah, the strange-looking cottage. Every time you get this event, you may ask and answer a new question about the unconventional person. Okay. So, in searching for ambergris, let me go ahead and find the notes I had about the cottage that looks like it landed there. It's been a little bit since we got that, so I need to try and figure it out where that was. There it is, up in the Isles. There's a flying cottage landed on one. We've got somebody named Kyan living there. Not very inviting. We know it's her grandmother's cottage, but she's alone. One wing of the cottage is crumpled. We can ask and answer one question about Cayenne. So, I think the question is, so how did the, what happened to the cottage's wing? How did you end up here? We come across Cayenne trying to tie splints to the broken wing of the cottage. It's a huge feathery thing. It looks almost like it could belong to a living creature. Maybe that makes sense. Maybe it's mechanical and she's just hoping to reinforce it. We offer a little bit of help. She accepts it just to prop up a heavy part that she was having trouble struggling with when we showed up. Because of that, she might be willing to answer the one question. How did the cottage come here? What happened to the wing? She'd mentioned the cottage flying and there being a storm threw things off. The winds knocked the wings askew, and before the cottage could right itself, before she could do anything, the wing struck and broke against the side of a higher floating island, a smaller one, that she didn't notice, that it didn't dodge, or couldn't, with the winds. It tumbled down, but not far, controlling its fall just enough to land without shattering entirely, and without injuring her in the process. But it couldn't take off again. The wing is just not in a good condition for it. And whatever the case may be, whatever magic powers it, has not repaired the wing on its own. So now she's trying to do whatever she can to get this thing repaired, if at all possible. It is feasible for this cottage to come and go if the wing gets fixed, for this event to just be as sporadic as can be. I'll say we can offer to help in our downtime. No particular reagents, just spending time on it. What seems like a fair number to track towards? 5? 7? More or less? I like 7 for it being, like, a lucky number. Something like that. 5 is just a handy number. Once we count up, then the cottage will be able to fly again, and Cayenne will just kind of, occasionally show up. Just frequenting the area. But I'll say once we get it up to 5, we can actually add Cayenne's grandmother as an NPC as well. I said 5 instinctively. 5 kind of makes sense, but 7 could be good too. See, I don't necessarily want to mechanically dump, like, an entire week's downtime into the single thing just to be like, okay, we got it, it's done. So I think that 7 makes more sense, genuinely. I couldn't even if I wanted to, and I have control over the levers, yes, but also I am heavily tempted sometimes to just go fast. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a handout real quick. Little note. Fixing Cayenne's cottage. I'll put us at 1 out of 7 for the time here, and I'll just advance time by 1. Boop. There we go. Alright, this does mean that we are unlikely to find ambergris, but we can certainly give just one more shot. We've got downtime, but I do want to get into that bookshelf, so one more shot, just to see. Just to see if we can get it. We decidedly do not get it. Alright. Alright, a powerful wind knocks you over the edge of the island you're on. While falling through the clouds, you manage to get your broom under you and get back to safety, but in the fall you've dropped all but one of your reagents. Well, the good news is we didn't have any reagents in this downtime, did we? No, wait. We got 2 liquid fires before heading up here, didn't we? We got 2 liquid fires. Damn it! Well, 1 liquid fire. Oh no, we dropped a liquid fire. It fell down on the mountains. Oh no. Oh, that's not good in the middle of summer. Oh, that's not good. I think we have to fly down and, like, the liquid fire has struck the mountainside and started to spill. And so things, including rocks, are currently burning. And I'm gonna say that we have to spend, like, a jot of time just putting it out. We are not getting that ingredient back, but at the very least, we're not setting the mountainside ablaze. We head back home, and just to take a load off, we put away the 1 liquid fire we have left. We sit down, and we reach for the bookshelf. So, I can find other lists, but for right now, let's see items. And also I have, like, not only Table Fables, I think I've got, like, Table Fables 2, and that might have more. But I am quite certain that there are a D100 list of books. I think we're gonna be okay. Alright, okay, so I can roll for this. Or, the first person to give me a number from 1 through 100, I will pick that entry in this list. Since in theory nobody has access to this book, in theory, if you do, honor system, you're not looking and, like, scanning for the best one. Number from 1 to 100. I'm gonna give it a little bit of time for the sake of latency. Because I know that there is a gap between me actually saying something and you guys actually hearing it. Let alone a moment to type something in the chat. 93! 93. Okay. Book 93. So, we cannot get this result again. We get this once and never more. Ah, right. I need my, my soft little village music for when Viola is at home. 93. Songs for the Violin by Edgar Edge. This book is full of sheet music, and lovely violin music floats quietly from the book when opened. It might not be a riveting read, but how likely is it that... Oh, I named her Viola. How likely is it that Viola might know a little bit of how to play? That she might be able to learn a single song? I want to say just because of this poll, yes. I'm going to say just because of this one poll, yes. She's not going to be able to remember everything from this book. There are too many pieces. There are, there's too much to memorize. She might not have a fiddle with her. She might not have one. I think this is, like, awakening, like, memories of childhood lessons, such that she can still read the music. She can parse it. And she could, in theory, play it, but she can only memorize one of the various songs. And she will need to get a fiddle or violin in order to play it. But she could, in theory, do so. The next time we get any kind of market event or similar, I'm going to say there's a possibility that she finds herself an instrument. Alright, I'm just noting the title, Songs for the Violin by Edgar Edge. Alright. Viola is going to have a single song from this lost book of sheet music. And she's maybe going to remember a few little bits, elements of others, but she is never going to see the songs in full again. The only way she might hear them is if perhaps out there someone else has memorized something, even if the manuscript, even if this collection of them no longer exists. With that, we move to the third week of summer. Recall, reshuffle. We have a lot to do. Summer week 3. So first things first. What comes knocking at our door? What terrible ailment? A queen is gonna be probably... Oh, it's tongue stung again. Somebody has gone and eaten honey straight from the hive and accidentally gotten a bee into the bargain. So, we have a club, I believe that is a monster if I remember correctly. Let me see, where is it? Yeah, a club is a monster. Oh, someone was a silly. Someone was absolutely a silly. Okay. So I've got some new monsters that you gave me, so let's see. Oh, this seems like a thing for Shamra. A melodramatic troll who exaggerates everything that happens to her? Oh, yes. Yes. Shamra went and tried to eat an entire, like, honeycomb out of a beehive, got her mouth all stung up inside and out, and has been wailing and languishing ever since. Actually went and, like, petitioned the Dark Ruler of the Underworld for she shall surely die, and the Dark Ruler looked at this, sighed, and just went, alright, okay, sent us a message. There is a troll who is convinced she is dying. Can you take care of this? So, somewhat unusually, perhaps, I'm gonna say narratively, that this is not a case where the troll has come to us. We have gone to them. It's gonna be, like, the same time value system, as, like, going to the cottage. It's not gonna take more time to go there, diagnose, make potion, and then return or anything. But... We have done this before. We might be able to do the same ingredients list again, but it would probably be worth it to check and see if anything is easier to get a hold of. Just because of the more options that we have now. Alright, what did we do for tongue stung last time? It was the terrible thing that made, like all taste of sweet go away forever. Well, not forever, for, like, a day, probably. We did the tar of avarice or the tar of regret tongue paste to the patient because they don't need to know anything else. We did shadow shark ink, shockfish slime, and dentist crab gel. It was all Loch stuff, and I think that it was fairly time-consuming to find, but we had a 13 because they are not, there's not, like, a consequence. Okay. So the shockfish is gonna be 7 on the Loch. Yeah, that was boils. There's mouth and pain, therefore. I wonder if we can do it perfectly. I'm not certain. The shadow shark was distilled for pain. Okay, so those two are both perfect ingredients. I think it was the dentist crab gel that had multiple things, because I don't think it was... Yeah, it was mouth. It was mouth. And I do not think that there's anything that gives you mouth and mouth alone, to be very fair. So that might just be what we do. That might just be what we do. I'll just real quick do a scroll, but... Honestly, we might just go for the same set, and it's entirely possible that we have some stuff kind of saved. Okay, don't see anything else there. I'm gonna check Glimmerwood real quick. We're looking for potentially mouth, boils, pain, and boils and pain are both 2. So mouth, I think, is the big one. Let's see. Yeah, mouth was the difficult one to find without a lot of options. Because there's a lot of teeth. That gives pain, and I now have a wand, so that could in theory be very easy to find. Like, more so than what we have for pain now, which is the Shadow Shark ink, which is the thing that... No, I'm keeping the Shadow Shark ink. I don't care. I'm keeping it because the idea of the cure for you have been avaricious and you have, like, consumed the honey, the cure being, you're not tasting anything sweet for a while now, buddy, is too funny. I need to keep that. I cannot get rid of the pain one. I cannot change it. It's not happening. It's not happening. Pain is permanent. The pain cure is permanent. I could potentially change the shockfish slime to something for boils if it's easier, because that's like 7 at the Loch. But yeah, we're keeping the shark ink. Alright, so potentially boils and mouth is what we could replace something with. Yeah, so many things are pain, but I don't want to change any of it. Okay. Let's see if there's anything in the strange that could potentially do something for mouth or boils. Especially mouth. Basilisk Gaze is almost overdoing it for the boils, to be honest. Also adds a point of poison. Let's not make it worse. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything. We're not doing foot fungus. Yep. Okay. I'll check the village real quick, just because it's been a little bit. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything unique there. Oh, the Hiker's Helper is good for pain, actually. Oh no, it's only 1 star, and this is pain 2 star. That's why I did it that way before. Okay. Little silly on the head. Not remembering things. But that's okay, I'm figuring out as I go along. Right, the Nimbus Fish had a mouth element. It's 3 stars. The Isles 3 makes it relatively easy compared to my current mouth, which is Dentist Crab Gel. So that might be a way to go, because mouth only needs 1 star. The stars don't matter. And frankly, with the Dentist Crab Gel, I'm not getting it perfect anyway. There's nothing that does mouth and mouth alone, I think. So it genuinely might be a case where it's worth kind of going up there. Even though you're mostly doing the Loch for everything else. My little friend has many, many opinions about things outside, and he will make them known. Thank you very much. So, shockfish slime for boils. Shockfish. I'm just making it one word. Save room. Oh, I can't wait until I get the depths. That's gonna make this so much easier. We got that. We've got Shadow Shark. Lock 8. Lock 7. And, oh yeah, for pain, Dentist Crab Shell is... Yeah, it was mouth that I was looking at, and that's the shadow shark. Never mind, No, shadow shark is pain. Oh my god, what am I doing? Yeah, shadow shark is pain. Silly. Okay. Mouth was the one that I was going to potentially change. So it's either the dentist crab, which is Loch 8, which is a lot. Or I go up to the Isles for Nimbus Fish, which is 3. And frankly, I think that might be the way to go. It's then not so much a gel. You end up with a crushed element to it, but I think it becomes like more of a mouthwash, and a slightly abrasive mouthwash that also takes the sweetness of the mouth away. Because the slime will make it a little thicker, but the gel, I think, doubled that. So I think we might change the recipe just a little. Isles 3 for Nimbus Fish. Alright, so instead of tongue paste, we're making a kind of mouthwash. It still has the de-sweetener. Shockfish. Slime. Which gets distilled. And crushed Nimbus Fish scales. We are keeping with the fishy theme, though. God, can you imagine if toothpaste was, like, fish-flavored? Ugh. Alright. Yep. Let's go do this. So, is there anything that I have on hand, first of all? Because I think I had to check that last time, just because these are such high-value things. We've got 2 shockfish on hand, actually, so I'm going to say that that is going to be a very handy thing to just keep in mind. We'll go to the Isles first for Nimbus Fish. We will return to the Loch then for Shadow Shark first, and if it takes us too long, then we just use the shockfish we have on hand. Let's do this thing. We've got this pretty much mapped out, so we head up first to the Cloud Isles. Alright, so Isles 3 is our goal. On a queen, we have definitely found our Nimbus Fish. However, we have also come across something weird. Let's see what the Cloud Isles queen gives us. You run into a pair of old harpies having a day out. They call you over to say hello and to chat. They ask about you and tell you about themselves. What stories do they tell you? During the conversation, they also say they think they know where to find the reagent you are looking for. Gain 4 foraging points. That's an interesting effect. However, the thing is, in order to get a reagent, most of the reagents are going to be lower in value than a 12. So unless you're going for multiple reagents, perhaps then you could apply them? But if it's the one you're looking for initially, you've probably already found it with the card that you pulled. Unless I am vastly misunderstanding how this game is played. Nevertheless, I'm just going to go ahead and mechanically accept the 4 foraging points towards whatever I go for next, even though it's in a different area. Just because otherwise, it's kind of just a lost card pull, in a way. Okay. So, a pair of old harpies having a day out. Call you over to say hello and to chat. So we basically have some new NPCs. What stories do they tell you? I think that in mentioning I'm looking for Nimbus fish, they start reminiscing about the good old days when they would dive into schools of fish just for the fun, not even for hunting, just to see them scatter. And one of them might tell of when she flew alongside a pod of sky whales. Potentially dangerous. Not because the sky whales themselves are vicious in any way, they're gentle giants. But just because they're so large, they don't always know where you are. And so one bumping into you, one turning and accidentally catching you with a flipper, could severely hurt you or knock you out of the sky. Nevertheless, she did so, she lived to tell the tale, and to admit how stupid she really was in her youth, but oh, the thrill. I need names for these two harpies. In order to justify the foraging points paying forward, they might also mention that, oh yes, back in their youth, they take turns about the loch. They're pretty sure they remember there being a really nice fishing spot for shadow sharks. At least some of the year. Alright, got the Nimbus fish. We have advanced the tracker by that much. We'll advance the tracker one more to get down to the loch. And if I can't think of any harpy names in the meantime, or if you guys can't offer any, then I will have to revisit that later. I want to keep things moving as much as I can. Alright, down to the loch. We have definitely found our shadow shark. Oh yes, the music. I'm remembering at least a little more, I think. Meltwater Loch on a 10. Okay. We find the shadow sharks in some of the shallows, where the harpies had mentioned. They'd occasionally try to dive bomb them and take one before it could generate ink and hide itself. While exploring one of the shallow wrecks in that area, after getting hold of my ink, you find a skeleton huddled over a barnacle-encrusted chest. Whatever is inside can't have monetary value, or someone else would have taken it by now. Do you bring the chest ashore, or leave it be? And if you do take it, what is inside? So we gain no monetary value from this. We just gain something potentially interesting. It's not going to be a reagent. It's not going to be anything that can be sold. However, it was something that somebody huddled over when there was a wreck. A violin? Ha. I like the idea and the direction and the callback. However, I'm gonna say no just because my brain is kind of going, yeah, that would be wrecked in those conditions at this point. Like, it would be completely destroyed. Locked in a chest covered in barnacles, probably washed by water. I doubt it's watertight. You could probably get some mileage out of saying, yeah, magic has preserved and protected it, but it feels a little too on the nose as well. to be like 1 week after reading that book, I just get a violin at random from a chest. Let's see. I can just kind of, again, use the charts that I have of, like, various kinds of treasures. That being said, I think it would make more sense to be, like, a magic item than anything, and I'm not certain about that being useful enough. I feel like a sentimental value of some kind would make a lot more sense. Something that was valuable to them, but also would be unharmed by the environment and by time. Set of carved stone chests. Maybe. Like, my thought process right now is that it's something with almost a MacGuffin-y kind of value to it. Something that's got a certain amount of a certain amount of, like, almost prophetic importance attached to it. Oh, right, I should bump this down as an event. Some sort of thing, like, I keep thinking along the lines of, you know, the sword and the stone, not necessarily that, but that sort of thing, where it's not necessarily about the monetary value of the thing, it's about what it could represent or what it could do. It could be something where in the future some adventurer might need it in order to go off and do some big quest adventure-y thing. It's just been lost all this time. Again, it can't have, like, obvious monetary value, though. It can't be shiny. It can't be something that if somebody else had come here and popped the chest open, they'd be like, oh yeah, I can sell that for a pretty penny. Okay, wait. I've got something that's gonna be worse than all the things. Leaving aside the MacGuffin-y idea, leaving aside it being anything magical, anything powerful, anything valuable in a traditional sense, I'm going to go with, I'm gonna go with it being something very sentimental to whoever this was. Instead of, like, a carved stone chest set, it's carved. The stuff inside is carved, but it's all, like, hand-carved, like a full array of wooden toys. Carved wooden horse. Carved wooden riders. Soldiers. Carved wooden villagers. A couple of little carved, wood, like, tiny toy model houses of sorts. They're probably about as tall as any of the human figures. A dragon, a griffin. All handmade. Probably made for somebody's child. Long enough ago that if the child is still out there, they're most likely grown by now. And they never got the chest of toys that their parent was coming back with, that they had made while on the ship, or perhaps that they had bought from a village on the other side of the shore, the other shoreline. Maybe at some point in the future we'll find who these toys were intended for. Maybe we never will, and they'll just stay in the cottage. There's some water damage on some of them. Paint has worn away. Some of the ones in the bottom layer might even be a little bit rotted or rotting. The ones on the top layer are in good enough condition, though. Okay. A chest of wooden toys. We'll hold on to those. In the meantime, we have our shadow shark, we have our nimbus fish. I think we have enough time to go for the shockfish, even without any foraging points shoring us up. Let's try for a 7. 6 is just barely not enough. On a 6, it is once again the Kushi on the hunt. It's the 3rd time we're becoming old hat at finding a safe place to hide. But nevertheless, the decreased timer is ticking against us. Once it's been long enough, and the barks fade off into the distance, we continue. 3, also not enough. On a 3. They stole my reagents. A flock of surprisingly cunning gull drakes takes turns distracting you while the rest of the winged bandits steal your reagents. Thankfully, you scare them off before they take everything. Choose one reagent to keep and discard the rest. If you have none, they'd bother you for fun. Alright, so the shadow shark or the nimbus fish? Bugger. I lose the nimbus fish. I can potentially get that back. Potentially. Oh, come on, though. Alright. Let's keep looking for, Oh, do we even keep looking for the shockfish at this point? With one, we get 2 more points. We'll get it in 2 turns. We could lose more time. I think we might be able to do it. Let's look for the shockfish some more. 10! We got a hold of our shockfish. And that is, quite frankly, another barnacle-encrusted chest. I'm going to say that I'm only getting 1 of those on this. I'm not going to get another chest at random while we get the shockfish. So. I can't remember if I advanced this for that. I don't think I did. So, we are going to ignore that event, to be quite honest, just because it feels a bit silly to get the same event twice in one run. We gotta hold the shockfish. We go back up to the Isles again! Because of those stupid gull drakes. Got us. Anyhow, we're gonna go and look for another nimbus fish. It's a 3. We might be able to get it. Let's go. We don't get it. We'll get it next time. Alright, what's the one give me? Foraging around on one of the larger islands, you come across an animal that could never have gotten up here on its own. What is it? Do you escort it back to its original locale? If so, how does that go? Decrease timer by 1 if you do. Oh, we are playing with fire trying to do this. What's up here? What do we have? What do we have? I think there's a goddamn goat from the mountains. No idea how it got here. Do we take the time Okay, so here's the thing. We decrease timer by 1. We would decrease it by another 1 to get whatever's left. I think we would have just enough to get back, because we are getting the Nimbus fish, next time for sure. Alright, we take the goat back to the mountaintop, and then we go hunting for Nimbus fish again. So, we're definitely getting it no matter what, because we were going to get more foraging points, or a higher number, so... Alright. A flying familiar falls into formation with you and asks what you're looking for. You tell it and it flies off ahead of you. After a little while, it comes back with a reagent of your choice. So we ran into this before. There was an eagle that flew around the area. Let's say it's the same eagle, just because it makes sense. They're out here helping out. They're out here trying to find things for their own witch. But they're willing to lend a helping talon when they can. We can get a reagent of our choice, presumably one from the Isles. Here's the thing, we've just caught our Nimbus fish again, so we can potentially get something else, or we could just get another Nimbus fish and have it on hand for mouth, feet, and infection. And honestly, with the difficulty of finding them sometimes, and the 3 stars, that might be worth it. I'm just gonna say we get a bonus Nimbus fish from the eagle helping us out. I'm gonna put it in reagents on hand. And, there we go. Save changes. Done. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's see. Let's see, same eagle familiar from the last time. Okay, and that leaves us with just enough time to head back and make the potion. So, we have made the mouthwash of, it's not the mouthwash of avarice or regret, the mouthwash of shame. For the troll, we call it dark wash. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's gotta be like dark water, right? No. It's dead opposite. Dark water is sweet. This stuff gets rid of sweet. There is no sweet left in this world. They will never taste sweet again. Shamra is convinced that she has been permanently, removed from the ability to taste sweetness. She will never, ever experience the sweetness of the honey in the hive ever again in all her life. We are paid discreetly by a messenger of the Dark Ruler, because Shamra is not doing a single thing about that. There is no bonus, there is no detriment for sweet or poison, so we just get 30. That puts us at 78, and our reputation is at 20. At 22, we go into advanced. We are very close. For now, however, there is a little bit of downtime. Oh, let's see. We've got a toothache to deal with, honestly. I think that we spend one bit of time brewing up a potion. So we are now 0 for that. We are now 3 for that. And let's just use up the liquid fire here. Okay. We will spend one more bit of time administering the potion. And with that, 2 potions in. The thing that we are lowest on is the ambergris and the giant spider venom. Anything that has to do with the pain it's been the most difficult. I think that we might go up to the Isles again and try to get ambergris. Do we go up to Isles for ambergris, or do we spend time doing something else? I think that we give it one shot. I think we give it one shot, and then we're going to spend a little bit of time helping Cayenne with her cottage, and then we're going to go read a book. So, let's go ahead and see if we can get ambergris in one try. We definitely do not. Instead, event number 2. Okay, as you're passing between 2 islands, a cloud shark leaps out of the clouds and takes a bite at you. Thankfully, it was just a scrape. Decrease timer by 1. So, yep, we spend enough time evading the cloud shark that by the time we come to rest, we look around, we realize that we are relatively near Cayenne's cottage, and frankly, we don't feel like diving through clouds again searching for ambergris. That was too close and too much and too scary. It's time to go and be a little more grounded. We are going to spend 1 jot of time helping Cayenne try to fix the cottage. So that is now at 2 out of 7. And then we are going to head home and sit down with a book for the rest of that little bit of time. So, give me another number. From 1 to 193 is off the table. I have got my list. I've got my book with the lists of many things, including list of books. And yes, I'm going to change the music. There we go. Many options, many options. 16, okay, we went high, now we go low. Oh my god. We fall asleep reading this because the book that we pick up is A Series of Papers on the Morality of War by Oral Tabitha, Jonathan Winchell, and Oral Ming. It is, like, if you are very into unpacking the philosophy, they might have some interesting, like, takes and things. However, I can only imagine with a title like that, this is as dry as the paper it is printed on. I think that between, like, all that happened, and then coming home to this, sitting down in the cozy chair in front of the fire, feet up on the footrest, Viola just passes out, falls asleep, and when she wakes up, the manuscript is just gone. The time has passed, and it is no more. I gotta note down those names, just to have record of them. Oh, 2 people named Oral. What do you know? Maybe it's a title. Oh. Okay. So that is going to bring us to week 4 of summer. Typically the last one that I do on a stream, so let's see how this goes. Summer week 4. That's going on hold for a little bit. This needs to go away. If we can brew a single perfect potion, we will reach advanced for next time right away. If not, it's just going to be another week, so it'll be during next time. Let's go ahead and see what we get. Because many of these it's not even possible. I'm scared. King? Intermediate Elements King? I'm scared. Oh my god. It's this one! Alright, this one could get a little bit crude in the implications, but we're doing it. Bard boils. Bard boils. I'll give you a second to consider what that might be. Boils 2 and pain 1. What could possibly be bard boils? Look, you have a duty of care to all who come to you, even if the affliction is unseemly. Witch elders also recommend smacking the bard responsible with an oak spoon. So, this has a timer of 4, which increases to 6. It's not because it's a particularly dangerous ailment. The consequence is just they get embarrassed and run off home to pretend this never happened. There is, uniquely, I believe, for this game, an extra element. If you make an extra potion and visit the village within the timer, you may gain an extra 20 silver from the bard. This could be difficult, because my timer is quite low, even with Virgil's help. I also want to see if I can do it perfectly, which is going to require me to get something that treats just boils at 2 stars or better, and just pain. I am genuinely not quite certain if that's possible. I can't remember everything that there is. I'm pretty sure pain is possible. I don't know if boils is. So, I'm going to be doing some searching. So, foot fungus does boils among other things. It's not ideal. Is there anything that just does boils? Just does boils or just does pain? Boils is going to be the hard one. Once again, I am finding myself thinking about what I read about somebody making, like, an entire, like, spreadsheet for everything. And I'm like, that would be nice. I do not want to get giant spider venom for this. Thank you very much. I don't have that kind of time. Blood and senses time. Shock fluid, shockfish. I have got 2 shockfish on hand. I can make the boils happen with shockfish. It is 2 stars. It's perfect. Now, pain. Shadow shark. Distilled the ink. Okay. Oh, I don't want to have to try to get 2 shadow sharks, but I've got 2 shockfish, so I could make that sort of happen. But I'd have to get 2 of them for the pain. Okay, is there anything else that just does pain that's easier to get a hold of? Especially with the timer slowing me down. Shockfish, I don't even have to search for. I could just do it. I think that pain might be Hiker's Helper, honestly. Pain might be Hiker's Helper. Okay. Because I'm pretty sure that that's relatively easy. Yes. Village 3 for Hiker's Helper, and I'd already be in the village, so I might have to, like, go back to it. I don't know how that works. It's, no plus for winter. Honestly, I think we have this. I think we might have this in the freaking bag. I don't think I have any Hiker's Helper on hand, and frankly, I don't want to use everything that I have on hand anyway, especially if I'm using both shockfish. Okay. I only have 1 Hiker's Helper. However, it's a good... This could work. It's a good, backup for just in case I, like, can't find both within the timer, and then also return to the cottage and then return to the village. Alright, okay. So, who has, who's got the boils? Who's got the embarrassment? Who's got the boils? Village 3 is going to be best. I think that we have somebody new, to be honest. It could potentially be a traveler, but I think that these are both somebody new. We don't have any bard NPCs, so we'll need that as well. Let's see. Yeah, I think the funniest thing we could potentially do is the case of bard boils comes in, and to protect their anonymity, we don't even mention who they are in our journal. Like, we are going to straight up pretend we do not know them. We are never going to bring it up again. We are going to allow them the freedom of their embarrassment. We had the one-man band. Do you think that's bard enough, though? the bard in question is definitely a traveler, like, comes and goes. Yeah, I find it hard to believe that the guy who puts, like, little mini symbols on his knees and knocks them together occasionally has the raw charisma to have and then cause and spread this problem. The one-man band is not bard. Alright, we need a new bard. The bard, being the instigator of this, we have no such qualms about recording in our diary because, frankly, the warning is needed. Let's see. I think that I need to pull up names and things again. Let's see if I get something suitably bardy. We don't really need a lot of information. We already know there's a bard. We already know what nonsense you might get up to. I am not naming my bard Newt. I'm not naming the bard Newt. That is not a bard name. Okay, I need a better name. Let's see. Okay. Tilde sounds better, but I also know what a tilde is, and that's a, like, punctuation, not a punctuation mark, it's the little swiggle over, like, an N for an enye, in Spanish. I don't think tilde is quite right. If I go one above it in the list, I get Thorius. That sounds like a scholar. Okay, okay. One below is Tom. We're not doing Tom. Tom the Bard? Hell no. Going down further, Torel. Torin. Tyrell isn't much further down. Thorius New Tilde. No. No. that is like that is the bard's actual birth name that he left behind for something cooler. I'm sorry. This bard is going by something else, even if it's not true. Even if it's not what he was born to. He's picked a name if that's what he was stuck with. Leisure Suit Larry? Oh, why? Okay, Gnome Bard is never going to beat Scanlan allegations, to be honest. But Leisure Suit Larry is hilarious. Okay, let me look in the L's real quick. Just to see. We've got Larius. I'm putting Larius down. We're doing Larius, because Larry is funny, but also not quite fitting. Larius, I think, covers it. Larius of Leisure. Lax Robes Larius. I think the robes got a little too lax, to be quite honest, in this case. Alright. Okay. Okay. So, we are gonna go ahead and head into, frankly, I didn't draw a lot of cards last time, so I'm just gonna keep going from there. We're gonna head into the village. We are going to, try and find some Hiker's Helper about the place, and also make some inquiries about the location of this bard. He's probably posted up in the Copper Fox, in the inn. Relatively easy to find. We'll come back for that. Alright. I love that Lax Robes Larius also can be heard as Lax does not have robes. The robes are rather lacking around Larius. Alright. So, we've got a target number of 3, but we need 2 instances of this in order to get the bonus. Let's see what we can do. I've got a 1. We've definitely found it. However, the village has its own little, exploration chart. Oh, this is the village children with the garden plots. We've got a 50-50 chance. 50-50 chance of the mask up, scaring them off and making it never happen again. 50-50. So, instead of rolling a die, I'm going to draw a card so it's visible. If it is red, then the mask succeeded. If it's black, our garden plot is trampled, and we're going to have to figure out a different way of going about it, or upgrade what we have so it'll work. Alright? So, black, success. Oh, wait, did I say it the other way around? I think it was red, success, black, failure. Red, success, black, failure. So let's go ahead and stick with that. Red, success, black, failure. Black failure. They have trampled... The little brat has trampled another garden plot while we're out, so we're not going to know until we get back. Okay. Alright. So we are going to have to work on that some more. However, we have gotten 1 share of the Hiker's Helper. 1 trampled. Okay. We need 1 more share of Hiker's Helper. 2 just barely doesn't do it. So actually, we do need to try to forage it again. On a 2. A rumor is going around town. What is it? Is there any truth to it? Well, I think I can guess what the rumor might be about if there's some amount of truth to it. And the rumor is perhaps somebody spending a little too much time with Larius. We're going to try to downplay that rumor as much as possible. Do not worry about it. That person isn't at my cottage awaiting treatment for anything. I am not sure what you are talking about. We try once more. We definitely get the 2nd share of Hiker's Helper on a 7. Oh, guys, we're unlocking something! Woo! Okay. Okay, this is a long-form thing that might not ever be done. But, as we are plucking the last bit of Hiker's Helper that we need, the postal harpy lands beside you with a letter bearing a very formal-looking seal. It is a request from the Museum of Magic. They would like you to send 1 of each reagent for their Rannoc reagents collection. Whenever you find a reagent, you may send it to the museum. Once you have sent them 1 of every reagent, the museum sends you a collection completion certificate. It has no mechanical benefit. There is no point to it other than checking off an entire list. But technically, you can have the museum gameplay from things like Stardew Valley, or Animal Crossing, or other similar games, where it's like, put 1 of everything in the museum, and the museum is full, and you don't really get anything except, like, feeling good about it. So, yeah. That's not gonna be a driving focus, but, you know, if we ever feel like it... do all this work for this cool certificate that doesn't really do anything, just like college. Listen. Listen. The certificate was supposed to do something, okay? Like, everybody was sure the certificate would do something. I'm just gonna list things as I actually do them. If I do them. The certificate was supposed to be a meaningful ticket into, yes, you are certified to do things, to know things. Yeah. The fact that it isn't really a fault of the certificate. Okay. So with that, we head back home. We brew up a potion. We treat the person there. I am going to go ahead and mark off our reagents on hand. We are no longer going to have, where is it? Where are my 2 shockfish? Ah! No, God, stop! We no longer have those on hand. So we've got some, restocking to do, potentially. Oh, idea for, okay. I see that it got cut off, so... Oh. Okay. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and, on that, potion, I'm gonna go ahead and use a jot of the sun sugar. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and use a jot of the sun sugar on the main one. Along with a warning to, maybe let's not do that again. Just real quick, what was the shockfish slime for boils? Distilled. Just so I know. Okay, and then the other was Hiker's Helper, which I think was just crushed. No, it might have been boiled. Like, what would that even make? Hiker's Helper is boiled for pain, so... So, like, you've got boiled greens and distilled fish slime to make the potion. I think it'd be drunk, but... I also feel like distilled slime would be very thick. So it's thick, it's kind of herby, motherboard broke. Oh, that doesn't sound good. Well, that seems like a computer issue. I really hope it isn't. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Okay, okay. I think the herby slime is topical. Rather than drunk. But we can still sweeten it so that it maybe stings less or something like that. I will figure out a name for that later. I've been very bad about naming my potions. I'm trying to actually keep track of what goes into them so I figure out what they would actually be like. But yeah, yeah. Not good at naming the potions. For right now, however, we've got enough time to travel back to the village, find the bard. We'll bring the wooden spoon with us, smack the bard, and then hand them the potion and basically go, alright, you've had your fun, get out of town. Oh, gosh. Alright. And that wraps us around to downtime for this week, just to finish that out. Okay. Oh yes, also, hold on a second. I think that was a perfect one, because the Hiker's Helper was pain on pain alone. The shockfish distilled, I think, is just boils, because I remember, yeah, I planned it, yes! Guys, we have now officially reached the advanced tier. We have also, with like 3 points of sweetness, 30 plus, that's 40, 42, plus another 20 for the bard. Yeah. So, 178 plus 42 plus 20. We are at 240 silver. I think that we can probably start affording a few things. we can probably start affording a few more things. Let me look in tools real quick. We could just go get the Athame, which is the 80 silver. I think that the ritual circle requires a certain level of stuff. Can only be used once per ailment, so no, it just requires the Athame. It doesn't require anything else. Okay. Okay, back to tools. The Athame is 80 silver, which could just be got. I could get another garden plot. Other than that, the lowest cost things, there's 150 silver for a Raven Loft, which allows you to take requests and send potions to patients in other villages or further afield. Draw twice when determining a patient's ailment and have the second card be for a patient in another village. If you can make both potions for both ailments within their timers, gain double silver for the second potion. I am not wanting to deal with that right now. Good to know, but I do not want to deal with that right now. The next thing down is a fish tank for 150. If you catch a fish, you can pop it in here to have constant access to its reagents. Each tank can hold 2 types of fish and is very relaxing to have. Choose 2 fish of foraging value 8 or lower to keep here. That would genuinely be very good for something like a shockfish or the shadow shark, but there might be others that would be useful too. We'd have to catch them. We'd have to catch the fish in order to put them in there, I think. Foraging value 8 or lower. Oh, the shockfish would be genuinely probably pretty useful to have, especially having used them up. Shadow Shark isn't actually that useful because it removes a point of sweet, so it's been good for certain things. I am not sure that I want to have it held on to that much. I am very much feeling that fish tank, though. Dentist Crab has been pretty useful. Actually, having constant... We're already done on the infection side of things, to be fair. No, we're not. We don't have liquid fire. Okay. Dentist Crab covers a lot of ground. Wigfish would be hilarious because you could catch it relatively quickly, and then you just always have the wigs because they keep trying to make them and we keep taking them away and they're not hiding anymore, I think. But, yeah. Now, I don't know if the sliding scale for the rest of the season changes it from 8 to... from 3 to higher than 8, and therefore ineligible, but... Okay. I think that that's something to consider for next time. I am just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna buy a fish tank. I think that brings us down to 90 again. However, we have... fish tank. 1. And I'm going to go ahead and put... I'm going to make an entire little side thing because we can, in theory, get multiple of these. Fish tanks. Tank 1. And we're just gonna... yeah. Have that all set. We don't have anything in it yet, but we can catch the fish for them in the future. Frankly, let's just go ahead and try and find a little bit of shockfish just while we are at it, because that is gonna be handy to have on hand given how often we've needed it for things. So, that is Meltwater Loch. I think it was 7. Yes, it was 7. Gonna go ahead and spend some time trying like hell to find that. Meltwater Loch. And we go. On an 8, we definitely have found our shockfish, and we're taking the whole fish, not just the slime, because we need that. Okay. And on an 8, Bas Bata breaches the surface with the loch and lets out an earth-shaking roar, scaring all the animals into hiding. If you are looking for an animal reagent, lose 1 foraging point. We've already found it, so that doesn't make a difference. He is unhappy still about the toothache, which is very reasonable. However, we get free with our shockfish. It's 1. And we are gonna put it in the tank. Tank 1. Shockfish. Save changes. Okay. Second action. We don't have any of these brewed because we are short on some ingredients. Come to think of it, the forest might be a better place for giant spider venom because we technically have a -3 on animal foraging in the forest because of the raven that we befriended before, like ages ago. I genuinely kept forgetting about it, so that's why I put it as a note visible on the open book. And I think that it's technically animal. It is. It is. So technically going into the forest for that makes sense because I only have to hit a foraging value of 6 in order to get them. Raven will show me the way. It's been a while since we've been in the Glimmerwood Grove anyway. So, I'm gonna go ahead and head there. Going to start exploring. 2 is not enough to net us one. A group of thieving fairies grab your forage basket and take off into the woods faster than you can run. Well, we actually haven't collected any ingredients from this particular trip. They drop one of the ingredients, so you choose one to keep and discard the rest. I guess if you count the fish. We keep it. So we are going to continue to search. On a 3. Yeah, that's definitely not gonna get us that. We need a 6. You find boar tracks leading straight to a reagent. Draw a card and treat it as a plant of the same value. So at the very least, we're getting some kind of bonus. What is a plant of value 6 from the forest? Technically a wild rose. I think 6 might be an in-between point where I can't really get anything exactly like that as a plant. So you know what? Heck it. Let's go ahead and take a wild rose. Now, I don't know if I have any already on hand. If so, then I can just pop that up. Reagents on hand. Do I have? I do. So I now have 2 wild rose. Okay. We are getting closer to potentially finding our one reagent. A queen, we are certainly going to find it. Oh, this is gonna be, oh, this is fun. Oh, this is fun. Okay. So, number 1, we have absolutely just found, our, giant spider venom. We found it, we have distilled it, we have taken it, we are going to go ahead and edit that to have 1 there. We just need some more. It's fine. However, as we are collecting that and getting away from the spider den in the forest, once again, we look up the trail, up the hill, where there's a glimmer of light between the trees. Our reputation is now above 20. We see the unicorn, and this time it doesn't turn and vanish away from us. It looks at us, and then approaches, and places a face value reagent in your basket. Specifically face value. So that is a 11, 12, or 13. It doesn't have to be from the Glimmerwood. It's a face value 11, 12, or 13. So, I do not think there's a snake's promise that we can grab hold of, potentially. There's amethyst antlers. Oh, I want amethyst antlers. Yeah, because those are going to be hard to find. And also, it makes a lot more sense to me that a unicorn would come up and go, here's a sparkly thing, as opposed to here is literally poison snake promise. I'm gonna go ahead and move that over to reagents on hand. The deer of Glimmerwood are unique in many ways, but their most unique trait is their antlers, from which dazzling crystals grow. Beautiful in the summer, but much easier to collect when they fall off in winter. Alright. We thank them. And we carry on. So, we've got a little bit of time. One jot of it is definitely going to be used on the book. However, I think that we can go ahead and brew one potion just to make that a little bit easier in the future. So we'll get down to 2 on that and down to 1 on that. We're getting to a point where we definitely need to get more of those ingredients. It takes a while. So we brew a potion. And, you know what? You know what? I think that we can just go ahead and, let's see. I think we're gonna definitely read the book. For one of the other bits of time. Oh, I'm rethinking it. I'm not sure what that would be. We're going to try and work on that garden prevention. And I think this time, having a magical wand, it's going to make some things easier. I think this time we are basically casting illusion spells around the garden in order to completely misdirect any children who are curious, who want to get into things. It's basically going to be a spell of, hey, look over there, distraction, sort of thing. The kind of thing that, like, if you know better, you're just going to keep going, you can push through it, but if you're a little kid who is being distracted by, like, promises of adventure and shiny things and whatever else, they are inevitably, once they get close to the garden, going to turn around and rush back off in an opposite direction. I'm going to go ahead and say that with the increased abilities that we have, with the advanced reputation that we have, and other advancements, we are going to simply remove that event. I will, in the meantime, before next time, think about a new event. I'm considering the option of, there are some, like, some bonus, like, homebrew extra cards of, like, extra thematic ailments and ingredients and stuff like that that can come up. I'm gonna say that if I get that event number again, I will instead go to one of those ailment cards, and the next ailment I get will come from one of those cards instead of being, like drawn from the general list. Just for a little bit of something interesting and fun and extra to do with that slot, so it's not just an empty, nothing happens sort of event. So, for right now, however, we've got one little bit of time left, and so I think it's time to get one more book. If anybody is out there, give me one more number from 1 through 100. My goodness. And I will get my book list. And also note a few things that have happened recently, because I do need to keep my notes going. Otherwise I forget things nigh instantly, and I'd like to keep at least a little bit of track of what's been happening. So we took care of the bard and the other individual. Let's see, downtime included. No, see, I've already forgotten so much stuff. Oh, we bought a fish tank. Shockfish for the tank. Saw Bas Bata again. Let's see. Saw Bas Bata. Right, went to Glimmerwood. Finally met the unicorn. Okay, I am kind of assuming that Watcher of Acheron has had computer issues and probably needed to dip. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll for the book in this case. If I get a 16 or a 93, ooh, I got a 99. 99. Alright, this one is clearly meant to be magical. So I don't think we get a good read. The book is The Whole of the Sea by Unknown. When opened, an infinite amount of salt water pours from the pages. So I think that we just get deluged, we get drenched by salt water, close the book, shove it back in the bookcase, and then are left dripping wet and with no option but to mop everything up from the floor. As we had just sat down in the cozy chair and opened it, and basically got, it like upending a bucket over ourselves, but even more so. So, that is a book that we are never going to see again, and I think we're going to be happy about it. And that is going to be Summer Week 4 done. Next time, Summer Week 5. So, alright. Next week. Next week and the week after could be rough. Because next week is the deep breath before the plunge into what is Mother's Day week, and the hell therein. And then the week after is going to be me basically turning into a vegetable following Mother's Day week, and not wanting to do literally anything if I can help it. I'm gonna basically see how I feel at that point. Next week, I will make the decision going into it, whether we do another bunch of Apothecaria here, or whether I need to just do something mindless and light while I ramble about everything and nothing at all. So, that is a possibility for next week. It could therefore be a couple weeks before we return to this. Or maybe we continue on just fine because, you know, I could feel fine. It could be okay. I could have hope. But that's kind of what I'm looking at the moment. I will figure it out in the future as we go along, and as I kind of get through work weeks, and just see how I feel about things. It's gonna be busy ones. It's gonna be rough. I'm like 5 days on, 1 days off, 6 days on, with Mother's Day days at the end of it being potentially intense. And then 1 day off. So, yeah, I might need recovery. But hopefully I'll see you with something else, next week, and we'll see about the week after. So thanks for hanging out, and hope to return to this for a little bit more summer fun and healing of a great ocean depths beastie's toothache. Thanks for hanging out, and have a good one. Bye!